Welcome back to another exciting edition of Keeping BZ. I'm your host, Brandon, the B in Keeping BZ, of course, joined by Zach, the Z. And we're going to be keeping BZ with the existential horror that everything will always go back, inevitably, in our lives, to Sonic the Hedgehog. We can't run. No matter how fast you run, the blue bird will catch you and make you play one of his video games and one of his numerous fan games. And today, we're taking a look at Sonic DX, or Sonic World DX, which is a game built out of the old Blitz 3D engine that's been heavily modified. I don't really have as much experience with this game as I do with like Sonic Robo Blast 2. This is sort of a new territory for me that I've just recently uncovered. And I have kind of a love-hate relationship with what I've played so far of Sonic World DX, which I imagine is pretty familiar across its whole community. So, we'll just dive into Sonic for a level. Maybe we'll try out some of the other characters. I have like the main stages here that are just part of the main game, and then I also have a shit ton of just mod levels that we're just going to screw around in and see which ones I like and which ones I don't. Maybe I'll quit out of some of them. We'll see as we chat. As usual, the focus is not the game so much as just podcast-type topics as we just talk about stuff, and it may relate to Sonic and other things as we go along. So, I guess first off, let's see. Hey, let's go with good old Twinkle Park from Sonic Adventure.
I like this stage in Sonic Adventure.
Yep, good music, really good setting. I'm surprised there aren't more theme park-based Sonic levels, but I guess that's what Sonic Killers was for.
Sonic 4 Episode 2 kind of has one.
Oh, you're right. Sonic 4 Episode 2 has the roller coaster, which is a decent level.
I never played that one myself, but I just keep up on random games I don't play. There was a way too long period of time. Oh, you're in the hover car. I was like, what do you... I thought you transformed into a big blue beetle for some reason.
Yes, Sonic is a beetle.
But there was a period of time where I watched games more than play them. Although, thankfully, I've reversed that nowadays.
Right. I mean, it happens to me sometimes that I'll watch a game instead of play it, but that's only if it's like really something that I have no desire to play, or if it's something I'm interested in, but I just won't not have the time, or it will be too difficult for me to try to run through all of it. Like, there's aspects of it that are too tedious. That's what I love about... That's why I think you and I both love Super Great Friend, is that he'll play games that most of the time we're not interested in, but we like seeing him torture himself by playing them. But mainly we like watching them, because many times it'll be maybe a game we know, but seeing his take on it is sometimes fun.
Nice.
Yeah, there's so many of his playthroughs that I've got to get to, but there's so many that I've got to get to that I end up with choice anxiety.
Oh, sure.
Although, that does remind me, there is one of them that there is a game he played that I have got to get to eventually, which is the Gregory Horror Show on PS2.
Ooh,
which
yes.
we never got in America. It's Europe and Japanese only. But that's based off of I don't even know the best way to put it, like a mini-series. Is that a good way to put it? It's a bunch of 5-ish minute episodes of, like, it's a CG cartoon.
Right.
And it's sort of a dark horror comedy. The first two seasons I enjoy. It's not the best written, and despite being called horror, I'm very easy to terrify, but I've never found Gregory Horror Show scary. But I've always enjoyed the writing. It's kind of quirky. And did you just fall through that?
Yes. Let's try a different stage.
Okay. So it's like a real Sonic game.
Yes, it's exactly like a real Sonic game. You just fall through things and die. So, yeah, maybe because I was just going too fast. I don't fuck up. Oh, we're not doing Worst Cave. Fuck Worst Cave. Fuck Worst Cave.
Is it the worst?
So it's a auto run level like the speed sections in Sonic 06, but turned up to just a degree that's just stupid. It's just ridiculous. And it's actually part of the main campaign of levels in DX, which just makes it even more insane.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, let's do Wacky Workbench from Sonic CD. Nothing can go wrong here.
No, everything could go wrong. I I never beat Sonic CD, but I do remember getting the Wacky Workbench, and it is indeed wacky.
Ah, yes, the classic and excellent Sonic CD soundtrack.
So you said you have a love and hate relationship with Sonic World DX. What would you say you love about it, and then what would you also say you kind of don't like about it?
So, primarily, I do like some of the feel of the controls. I do think it does a decent job in this old engine recapturing the feel of the Sonic Adventure games. And because of all the modding, it's just cool seeing levels like this where they recreated 2D sections from the original games and made them into these interesting 3D reinterpretations. And there's a lot of effort put into all of them. I also like how the levels aren't just simple levels. Many times they'll be full missions where you'll get alternate takes on different levels. So, like, for example, how do I put it? Like there will be a level where you finish the level normally, then there will be a level where you have to collect certain items scattered throughout the level, then there will be a boss mission level, then if you end up doing all of the levels and getting high rankings on them, you unlock a secret encore stage, which will be either a remixed harder version of the level, or it'll be a completely new stage based on mechanics from a completely different level. Like, for example, the Space Colony Arc is a level in this game, and if you're able to get like an S rank and get all the red rings on the Space Colony Arc stage, you unlock a new version of it that mixes elements from the Space Colony Arc of Sonic Adventure 2 and the Asteroid Coaster from Sonic Colors.
Oh, that's cool.
And a lot of the on-card stages do fun remixes like that. Or like, for example, Emerald Coast, the first stage from Sonic Adventure, the on-card stage of that has Chaos attack the level and flood it, so you have to be very careful. A lot of creativity put into this game. As usual, it's just Sonic fans going absolutely crazy and just creating really interesting stuff from, you know, either their own frustrations of the actual quality of the games, or just, you know, their own creativity of just wanting to make more Sonic content.
A part of me does wonder why it's usually Sonic that gets all the good fan stuff. It's not that Sonic gets it's only Sonic. There's another Metroid 2 remake, for example, but I can understand why most people don't make Nintendo stuff, because the second Nintendo sniffs you doing it, they're going to send you a cease and desist.
Yep. Which is a shame, because I've seen a lot of YouTube videos of some really good Mario mods and stuff. Not Mario mods, but like entire new Mario games people have made out of different engines, which is just crazy.
I remember back in my Game Maker 7 days when I was 16 and first discovered Game Maker, there was a really impressive fan... a fan was able to program Mario and Luigi, and that, for me at least, I was pretty impressive, because seeing someone make something where you jump, but it wasn't really like a 2D game, was like interesting. Because usually if people gave you the ability to jump, it was just in something that was flat 2D, not a top-down game like Mario and Luigi is. It's something that looks so simple, but actually trying to program that, especially in Game Maker, is not the easiest.
I can imagine, yeah.
Someone actually did, it was one of the top games at that time. Someone went and made their own 2D version of Mario Galaxy.
Really?
Yeah, they had, like, the whole planet gravitation gimmick, too. I never played it myself, but it was always one of the most top-rated ones, and it looked pretty cool.
See, and I guess that shouldn't be too crazy to me, because always when a new Sonic game comes out, and this is actually related to the history of Sonic World DX, is that every new update or new stages added to it, there was always a demand to try to add mechanics from the newest Sonic game, or try to create stages that are based on levels from that game. So, you know, there's always like, oh man, we got to add the levels from Sonic Unleashed. Oh, we got to add the levels from Sonic Colors. And I always found that interesting. So, like, in the Game Maker stuff, too, the Sonic Game Maker community is always like, hey, Sonic Unleashed came out. Hey, let's just I'm going to make 2D Sonic Unleashed. I'm going to make it a full game. And then, you know, he gets like 2 levels done and then he stops.
Yeah, that's just a thing in hobby game design in general. Sometimes they'll just get a concept. Very, very rarely will you see anyone actually finish things.
And then, like, yeah, the new Sonic game will come out, and then they're just like, well, I don't have any desire to finish this anymore. Now I'm going to make a 2D version of this Sonic game that I'm never going to finish. Or, you know, the multitude of games that are just Sonic 4. Like, I'm going to make my own Sonic 4, and it's going to be the best game ever that's going to combine all the elements from all the other games, and it's going to be great. And they get 1 level, and then it's done. And then, you know, that's it.
Ambition is a killer.
Yeah.
I've learned that the hard way.
So most of the time, with a lot of Sonic fans nowadays, they just make a game that's like Sonic Subtitle. They don't try to give it a number, because at this point, it just feels like a meme. Especially because Sonic 4 already exists and it sucks. Okay, I will say this. I'd rather play Sonic 4 Episode 2 than Sonic Superstars. What?
Oh, really?
Ah, fine.
Okay. I mean, here's the thing. I don't like Superstars very much.
I don't like it very much either, but I overall just find like the level design not as nearly as bullshit in Superstars as it is in Sonic Episode 4, because at least I can just have Sonic and Tails do their 69 attack, and then I can just go through every obstacle without any issues.
Good old 69 attack.
Fuck's sake. Yes, kill all the enemies again.
Sonic gets a lot of good fan games. I'm trying to think if there's any other series that gets as much love in the fan game community as Sonic does.
I can think of, like, examples where it's one game that is really good from a series, but never, like, the amount of games that Sonic gets. Like, you know, obviously you got, like, there's a few Metroid fan games, and particularly, you know, another Metroid 2 remake, which is fantastic. Might as well just be Metroid 2, except that Samus Returns exists, and that's also really good.
It's always weird that Nintendo, like, I don't know, I mean, I highly doubt Nintendo steals ideas from fans, but it is always kind of weird that after Nintendo takes something down, that's when they make their own version. I remember there used to be I think it was a browser thing, and you could make your own Mario levels, then that got taken down, and then Mario Maker got announced.
Yep.
And then the same thing happened with another Metroid 2 remake, that got taken down, and then suddenly the Metroid 2 remake was announced. I feel like they just have to be massive coincidences, but it's happened a couple times.
What was the one I was trying to think of? Well, when there was fans trying to make a remake of Resident Evil 2, and Capcom saw that, they actually invited them to their studios in Japan and went, hey, so we're working on something. Could you make it into, like, we're not going to cease and desist you, but could you please make it an original game using what you built? So that's how we got Daymare 1998. Which, I have beaten Daymare 1998, and I don't like it very much. I thought that the most impressive thing about it were the stages, like the environments that they were clearly redesigning for their Resident Evil 2 remake look very nice and very detailed. The actual story of Daymare and actually playing that game feels terrible. The game does not control well. Enemies don't respond well to your bullets. The whole game just has a mediocre vibe to all of it. And the ending and final confrontations where you're being chased by an enemy is garbage. It's the worst. And then, not long after that, I played a game. What was the name of that? Oh yeah, it was called Desire Blood Curse, which was an indie game that clearly was made by one guy. That is very, very short, and I found it immensely more satisfying to play than Daymare, despite having a much, much lower budget than Daymare. Because it just was a very simple story that was well told, and mechanics that didn't overstay their welcome. And no frustrating sections of being chased by something and getting instant kills. There's none of that in that game. And I'm making a distinct choice to compare it to another indie game and not to compare it to, like the actual remake of Resident Evil 2. Because that's not going to be a good comparison.
That'd be completely unfair.
Because that's one of the best horror games I've ever played. Alright, so now we got Hidden Palace from Sonic & Knuckles.
Too slow.
I'd say the model quality of these is pretty good for a fan game.
Yeah, there's a very famous fan game developer that I forget. It's like L-Link, and then there's like a number after that. It was like Link Sonic, but they go by like a different name now. I think that's like Marvel. But they did the character animations for the game, and a lot of their animations look great. They're not the sole animator, but they're definitely one of the most popular and well-known. Oh! Okay. You notice the music change? They're now doing a bit of Hidden Palace from the scrapped version of it that was originally supposed to be in Sonic 2. So that's why, like, the Keller palette has changed, because the opening was based off the Sonic & Knuckles version. I know all of this instead of knowing actual history or how to change a tire on my car.
If you change the tire on my car, I will give you 10 Sonic facts for free.
Yes.
Pokemon gets a lot of fan games now that I think about it. And once I think it's the source code or some kind of code that allows you to really mess with the Pokemon Emerald came out, there's been a lot of people have made some very creative uses of just taking Gen 3 Pokemon and sort of like what people do with Sonic from what you described. People were able to put modern Pokemon mechanics into this Game Boy Advance game.
Okay.
Like, I think at this point, people have programmed in terrestrializing.
Really?
Which is insane.
Wait, what, like, actually, I'm not sure I know what that is. What is terrestrializing?
The ability to change types.
Okay. Cool. That sounds crazy.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure, like, with all the work fans have put into it, I think every Pokemon up to this point has been added at some point to Pokemon Emerald. That's 1,000 of the fuckers. Man, I keep thinking about doing Pokemon as a keeping BC, but I'm like, man, I can't see that being... I think our RPGs in general just wouldn't be the greatest for keeping BZ. Which is a shame, because that's my favorite genre, so there's, like, many games in that genre I would like to pick, but then I'm like, it's gonna have, like... It's gonna be 70% dialogue or 90% grinding.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember playing some decent Pokemon fan games. Pokemon gets a lot of ROM hacks. Fire Emblem gets a lot of ROM hacks, but I don't really think that anyone even bothers going full-on fan game for Fire Emblem, because that's a strategy RPG, and that would probably be pretty difficult to do.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the size of those games, the amount of choices you can make, having entire family lines that play out in, like, the newer games. Oh, cool. Thanks, Sonic.
I mean, usually when people ROM hack, they ROM hack the Game Boy Advance games, and those, as far as I'm aware, those don't have family lines and all that. That stuff's usually reserved for the 3DS games. I think. The 3DS/Switch. I haven't actually played Fire Emblem, but I keep thinking about it, then I just never do.
I should try them. I do have access to Awakening, and I've always heard that's like a good starting point, but then I hear Three Houses is also a game that a lot of people could start at, and I'm just like... To me, admittedly, the medieval setting doesn't hype me up that much to play it, but I know the stories are so good, and I'm sure I could get... Despite not being so much of a strategy guy, I think I could probably get into Fire Emblem. Did you fucking...
What?
Enough of this shit.
So this reminds me, you never actually did get to what you don't like about this engine. Is that part of it?
Well, I'm sure some of this might just be lack of polishing in the ways that people have built these levels, but yeah, I have some pretty big issues with just the overall feel. Like, I both like that how it kind of plays like the adventure games, but I also find a lot of the control very finicky, and many times, yeah, just shit like that will happen where I'm just like, cool, so I feel like I didn't do anything wrong to play that level, and yet the level still ended up killing me. So now I'm tempting fate by playing a recreation of a level from everybody's favorite Sonic game.
When are we doing a Keeping Busy on Sonic 06, Brandon?
I mean, we can do the 06 project, which does make the game better.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And I played Project 06, and I'm probably going to have a controversial opinion, but it does overall make 06 play a lot better. But the people out there that are saying that Project 06 makes Sonic 06 one of the best 3D Sonic games, I think are crazy people. Because at the end
that's a crazy opinion, yeah.
because I really don't see that, because I play those levels and I then have the same kind of unfair deaths that always happened when I would play the original Sonic 06. At the end of the day, yes, they made it better, but it's still Sonic 06. It's still a game where its flaws are deeper than just things that can be repaired by, fixing up the glitches and changing some of the bad level design and mechanic decisions. That game needed an entire overhaul, not a patch. And in some ways he did overhaul it, but I don't think it's enough. I like playing some of it just out of this morbid curiosity of just seeing a better version of that game. I especially like what he did with Silver, but I don't think playing those levels is that fun. I think some of the level design, particularly when you play a Sonic, can feel pretty good at times, but then I still have just like a sudden death where I'm just like, well, I don't have any desire to S-rank these levels because I feel like I'm just going to encounter some bullshit during the level and get a death.
This is happening.
And I have similar issues with Sonic World DX, is that either because of the lack of polish with these levels just not having that professional polish of a mainline game, or just the nature of it being based off of the Blitz 3D engine and these poor developers that are still working on this game today trying to get this old engine to still reflect something that feels good to play. Like, I think you can see it too, Zach, just like the really finicky way Sonic locks onto enemies when he homing attacks. Like, it almost feels like he's like going forward in the air, and then he suddenly twists to the left or right to lock quickly onto an enemy. Sometimes you'll lock onto an enemy you don't want to hit, and you'll just go flying off of things. Or just the general control can feel a little stiff in a way that just never feels great sometimes. Like, that's why I have the love-hate relationship, because on one end, this is just an infinite amount of levels that are really neatly designed to show how you could try to recreate some of these classic stages in 3D. Or just remaking 3D levels in ways that make them interesting. But, like, for example, they'll take the aesthetic of something, but overall, many times, yeah, it can feel like it's just not... The engine itself is the issue and not necessarily the people developing for it. Whereas I find Sonic Robo Blast 2 extremely polished, and while it may not be playing like the adventure titles like some fans would want, it overall, I know at the end of the day the problem will be the level designer and not the actual developers of the game, because that game controls so well. Like when I was showing you guys Sonic and the Gunslinger, yeah, there were some issues with the platforms being very slim, but you could also see me making some jumps on very thin platforms because I trusted the game's mechanics and controls. Sonic World DX, not so much. I'm happy most of the levels are on these kind of wide open highway pathways.
Feeling good.
This is, of course, based off of Starlight Zone from Sonic the Hedgehog 1, which, while I don't think Sonic the Hedgehog 1 holds up super well as a video game, I do think Starlight Zone aesthetically and music-wise is very nice. I sure do like their please kill all the enemies. Or, oh no, there's a switch somewhere. You have to search for a switch by doing exploration, or kill all the enemies to open up sections, which is not usually something I like to do in Sonic games, personally.
Yeah, I wonder if some of these level designers add the kill all enemies clause just so that they could do it. That's sometimes a thing. Like, I'll sometimes do that. I'll just program something, not necessarily because it's good designed, but just to be like, ha, I could do it.
Possibly. But like, see this level? This is fine. This works. Scripted loop.
Hey, you landed on the rail at least.
Yeah, even though I couldn't see where the fuck I was going. Cool. Sorry, Sonic, you home attacked one too many times and you weren't locking onto an enemy, so you died.
Alright, never mind.
Yeah, see how he's jerking all around on that fucking rail?
There's definitely an attempt to make this cinematic like Sonic Adventure, but it does feel like the engine can't really handle it.
Yeah.
Like, especially this part, because if you light speed, yep. Just... at least it keeps you on the rail. But the fact that there's enemies as soon as you go up that shoot at you, like that...
Yeah, that's not
the best place for an enemy.
And having that spike ball enemy is just irritating. I'm just gonna wait to get rid of all of his balls so that way I can get through here without... Oh my god! Really?
Oh, shh!
Nice.
Like, I can say for the most part, I didn't really feel this way playing Sonic Frontiers. I felt more relaxed. In the open world segments, I did find the cyberspace stages kind of frustrating because of Sonic's incredibly stiff control in that game that I don't know why they resorted to over how it controlled in, like, Generations. But when I was just exploring the open world of the Starfall Islands, I honestly found them pretty cool and relaxing to explore and look around, and Sonic's control worked well for that. I'm getting a bunch of S ranks. And the cool thing about this game, Zach, is that it actually counts mod levels and mod characters towards your overall progression in the game. So you'll see that I'm actually getting emblems from these mod stages. And depending on how many emblems you have, you can get unlock coins out of those that allow you to unlock a new character. And we do have 2 unlock coins. Zach, do you want me to unlock Infinite?
We must unlock Infinite, yes. The coolest Sonic character.
I was gonna do Shadow because it's his. Technically, it's the year of Shadow we're living in right now. But yeah, fuck him. Let's do Infinite. God, he looks so edgy. I only have default costumes for him. Oh my god! They give him a nerd outfit. They know exactly who they're pitching this character to. Oh, weird. Okay. Oh, like a Pride. Oh, yeah, like a Pride Month themed Infinite. That's interesting. Now, they are graying him out a bit because we're not seeing the full costume until we unlock it.
Okay.
Yeah, we'd have to clear Mystic Jungle Act 1 with an S rank as Infinite. Interesting. Well, I mean, sure. Let's just play as Infinite and try that. Where's Mystic Jungle?
One of the loading screens said he had the ability to turn enemies into platforms, so it'd be interesting to see how that looks.
Yeah, let's try him out. Let's see what his mechanics are like. Now, this is going to be an actual stage programmed for Sonic DX and not a mod. And this is, of course, Mystic Jungle from everyone's favorite Sonic game, Sonic Forces. Which there actually are a lot of Sonic Forces defenders, which, I mean, it's not a bad game. It's okay.
It certainly does exist.
Yeah.
Tremble before me.
Interesting. So yeah, it doesn't have the homing attack. So what can Infinite do? You can dash. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Phantom dash. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Float in the air. You can do a nullify? Okay, you can shoot a little ball.
Oh, that turns enemies into platforms.
Okay, cool. Oh, he can float like silver. Okay, interesting. Okay. And he also has a tidal wave attack, which, okay, we have some enemies here. Let's try that. Okay. Yeah, let's try your nullify attack and see if it works. Yeah, there it is. Cool. That's neat.
Do you think Sega would ever try to bring Infinite back in the game? Or do you think they're just going to leave him in Forces?
I mean, marketing-wise, I actually see a lot of Sonic fan art of Infinite, and even in, like, Japan, I have seen, like, a lot of Japanese Sonic fan artists making art of Infinite. People seem to somehow like his design. I mean, he looks like the most edgelordy edgelord, which is interesting because that's how people perceived Shadow back in the day. But Infinite's much more of a stereotype, which might be appealing to some people. I don't know. They just see him as like this dumb nerd that, because like his whole arc in Forces was just all about like how he just feels like I'm not weak, I'm cool, and he's just very weak and he's not cool at all. And Sonic beats him and he just kind of fucks off. Like we don't like he's not like Infinite dies. He just kind of screws off after his final boss fight and we never see him again. So Okay, so he's not as so these levels do actually have speed, flight, and power routes. So if we had the light speed dash, we could go here.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't expecting that, but it makes sense.
Yeah, like they're taking mechanics mainly from like the Adventure and Heroes era, but like, you know, not using the shitty mechanics of Sonic Heroes. Which there are rumors floating around that Sega is wanting to do a remake of Sonic Heroes next year. Which I don't know how I feel about, because I don't see Sega doing a full remake as much as a remaster, but who knows? Who knows? Maybe because of the success of games like the remake of the Resident Evil games and the remake of Dead Space and all that kind of stuff, like the success people are finding with just full-on remakes of their games, maybe Sega will go on that route. I just think Sonic Heroes is a weird choice. I mean, it is aesthetically a really cool game. It has a lot of levels in it that are neat that you haven't seen other Sonic games redo those archetypes. Like, the Grand Metropolis Futuristic City, Frog Forest, of course, like Mystic Mansion aesthetically is an awesome level with awesome music, and it's terrible to play. So, who knows?
I mean, Sonic Heroes in general was just really terrible to play, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I didn't like that game very much.
Once again, Control. The Control just sucks. Of course, as a kid, I beat it and got all the Chaos Emeralds and, of course, got to the final story and beat the full game.
I have no idea how anyone gets all the Chaos Emeralds in that game. That Chaos... That special stage blows. I mean, look, if I was, like, 11, I'd probably like Infinite's design.
Okay, fair enough. Oh, wow. Okay.
Pure weakness. Not allow this.
Of course, he's not a fan of being weak.
Infinite does seem like he's designed for people who think Shadow doesn't look edgy enough.
Somehow, I didn't even get a death in that level, and somehow I still got an F. Interesting.
Maybe you get an F purely for playing as Infinite.
Yeah, I mean, probably. What else do we got? I like Mighty, but yeah, we got to do a level of Shadow. It's his month. It's his year. I mean.
Yeah, we're getting Sonado Generations, so.
Yeah, the Sonic Generations with Shadow remaster that's coming out, which I'm honestly kind of interested in because I'm curious to see how they're gonna tack that stuff on. But also, getting Sonic Generations running on modern consoles is exciting because it's a really good game. Oh wow, that's an interesting Shadow costume. And yeah, of course, the Riders costume makes sense. Whenever I would play Sonic Riders as a kid, I would always play a Shadow because he, instead of using a board, he would use like hover shoes, like skate, and I thought that looked actually really cool.
Oh, I didn't know that, but that does make sense. That's another one we could do for keeping busy if we need more Sonic games to play. Sonic Riders.
Yeah, we'd have to find somebody to record it, is the problem.
I mean, there's a PS2 version of it.
Oh, that's true. We could try the PS2 emulator and see how that works. On our illegal PS2s, which we own with legal copies of Sonic Riders, of course.
We do. Brandon owns every Sonic game and every Sonic game on every console. So if it's multi-console, you can bet he owns it on every console.
I mean, that is kind of true. Yeah, let's do fucking Radical Highway as Shadow.
I mean, Brandon even owns a PS2 version of Sonic Heroes.
Okay, well, that's the one I don't own.
I thought you were signed because you were about to say, actually, Zach, I do.
No, I only own that game on GameCube.
I mean, that's fair. The PS2 version sucks.
And I haven't played it since I originally beat it. So, Zach, last time I talked to you about Sonic Adventure 2, you actually had some pretty controversial thoughts about how you feel about that overall game, right?
It's been a while, but pretty much I like the Sonic and Shadow parts, and I don't like anything else. Oh wait, no, I like the Chow Garden.
I mean, that's fair. I think that's how a lot of people feel about Adventure 2. But I know that for many people, it's their favorite Sonic game and all that. I'm just like, nah, it's pretty flawed.
I can't.
Like,
I don't get it.
At least with Adventure 1, you can, the gameplay styles are separated into different campaigns. And they're all pretty short, while as the Adventure 2 campaigns are longer and you don't get to choose which campaign you play in what order.
Yeah.
Just imagine if Big was part of Sonic Adventure 2's campaign and you just suddenly were like, nope, you have to play a fishing level now.
I never thought of it that way, but that's a good way of putting it, because that definitely does make playing Sonic Adventure 2 so much more annoying. I would only just play Sonic and Shadow if possible. Maybe I do Tails and Eggman, but I would completely skip over Rouge and Knuckles. Those levels always just made me go, you know what, no, I don't care about this game anymore. I don't want to play it.
I mean, the first two, like, Knuckles and Rouge stages, I'm like, okay. But then when you get into, like, Aquatic Mine, and especially the space ones where they're so massive, how the hell am I supposed to tell where anything is? No, I was just like, nah, man, I'm out.
Okay, I will say I kind of like Pumpkin Hill, but it's mostly for the theme.
Sure.
But yeah, Pumpkin Hill's not too annoying.
I mean, I assume you just kind of like those tracks in general from Adventure 2?
Are you just talking about like the Sonic and Shadow stages? Or...
No, like the rap music.
Oh,
from Knuckles
yeah,
levels.
mostly.
Death Chamber, Death Chamber. Like the music from that game really is like iconic. But you can say that about a lot of Sonic games. This is, by the way, Zach, this is actually one of the levels in the Generations 3DS version of Sonic Generations. They for Sonic Adventure 2 to be represented, they chose the first Shadow level, Radical Highway. But you play it as Sonic and Classic Sonic.
Oh yeah. I mean, I can see why they would choose it, though. Now that I think about it, yeah, you don't really play as Shadow for a while in Sonic Adventure 2. It takes a couple stages. Well, no, there's a boss fight that you play as Shadow, but you don't get a full stage with him for a while.
Right. That wasn't too bad.
I don't like how the letter's not in the gray box. It annoys
Yeah, I don't
me.
know why it does that.
It's not that hard. Just move the X variable. Let's see. How else can I piss off Sonic fans today? Yeah. Like,
Zach, no, don't do
I
it.
would joke and be like, SA2 is mid, but I think it's less than mid, honestly.
Oh, God. I mean, I still enjoy the Sonic and Shadow levels.
I mean, I still enjoy the Sonic and Shadow levels, but, like, I don't like the story. I think the story in Sonic Adventure 2 is kind of really bad. Not that it's great in Sonic Adventure 1 either, but I get it. There's a cheesy charm to it in Sonic Adventure 1.
Sure.
I think the Sonic Adventure 2 story tries too hard.
Yeah, I mean, originally, it was supposed to be sort of like a finale to the series. So they were going to turn it into this,
Yeah, I do.
this big epic story, but it's, it's a bizarre story that goes from Sonic Adventure 1, which, yes, had human characters, but it followed pretty much the lore of the classic video games, to Sonic Adventure 2 going, what if we tie Sonic into a government conspiracy involving the President of the United States and a secret government organization that involved shooting up kids and parents and people at a secret research facility that were building ultimate life forms.
And Maria has a space disease.
Oh yeah, she has space cancer.
Which, hey, thankfully, she doesn't live long enough for it to kill her.
That's true. God. I mean, they casted they casted the actress officially that plays Maria in the movie, so they do have a Maria. They're not going to cop out of having that character happen in Sonic 3, the movie.
I don't think you could. Like, if you didn't add Maria, people would riot.
If you do not shoot the child, people will riot.
Oh, this reminds me. When are we getting to Sonic and the Olympic Games? Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games.
You mean like another one, or what do you mean?
No, I mean, when are we going to do a Keeping BZ on one of the Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games? Although I guess those are mostly on Wii, so never mind.
I've heard some are better than others. I heard the one that has almost like an 8-bit style through all of it's actually not too bad. But I don't have that much of a desire to actually play them.
Yeah, I never liked them. I've only played the first one.
Same.
So,
I think
so
everybody
maybe
bought
some
the
of sequels
first
are
one.
better, but
Yeah, I think everybody bought the first one because it had Sonic and Mario on the cover, and then they played it and they were like, "Oh, this is just like a bunch of mediocre."
it's such a wild idea.
Yeah.
Cause did Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games come before or after Brawl? Because I think Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games is the first time they ever cross over.
Oh no, that would have been actually, yeah. You're right, Zach. I think that might have been the first time they crossed over. I'd have to check those dates.
And it was for the Olympics of all fucking things.
Yes.
Which I guess if you want to stretch the reason why, they're both known for their athleticism. Mario's known for jumping and Sonic is known for speed, so...
Right.
Those are both kind of things at the Olympics, but...
Okay, Zach, we're going to do Azure Lake. You know Azure Lake, right?
No.
So... Oh, okay, yes. Oh, I had to listen to the music to know... Oh, cool. Great. That was fun. So, Azure Lake, I had to listen to the soundtrack to make sure I knew what level this was. This was a level that you play through in the multiplayer for Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Oh, just the multiplayer.
Yep. And, yeah, that's something that we could play one day, I guess, because, yeah, Sonic 3 did have a multiplayer setting where you could play through a bunch of levels that were exclusively designed for multiplayer, like Azure Lake and Endless Mine, and they all have good music tracks. So many people...
I didn't even know Sonic 3 had multiplayer exclusive levels.
Yeah, you just have to play the multiplayer. Like Sonic the Hedgehog 2, basically just remixed the levels that were already in the game. While Sonic, well, I mean, they were also kind of just the same levels too. Well, yes, Sonic, what the game was I just talking about? I blanked while I was trying to navigate these platforms.
We're talking about Sonic 3 and Knuckles and the multiplayer levels.
Yeah, well, Sonic 3 and Knuckles just made up entire new levels for its multiplayer mode.
Oh, that's neat.
Oh, wow, it's these things from Sonic Heroes. And the skydiving mechanic from Sonic Unleashed.
Okay.
And yes, there is underwater mechanics in this game.
Watching you play as Blaze reminds me I should probably try Sonic Rush at some point. Because right now my only experience with Sonic Rush is the OST, which is phenomenal.
It is phenomenal, and Sonic Rush is a good video game.
Don't drown.
No, no, no. There we go.
Oh, I can't believe you survived that.
Well, once the countdown ends, Zach, then the music starts. And then after the music ends,
okay.
then you drown. Yeah, I think they put a decent amount of effort into the little victory animations everybody does.
Yeah, I like Sonic's victory animations.
I am one with the flame.
Just so you know, Bran, we're coming up on 50 minutes.
Yep, so we should probably wrap this up. Do you want to do one more level, or do you just want to stop here?
One more level is good.
Okay. All right. Zach, you get to pick. All right, we got a couple more emblems. What character do you want me to do this time?
We haven't played a Shadow yet, right?
No, we just did Shadow for Radical Highway.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, my gosh. What even is time and memory? What about Mighty? Have we done Mighty yet?
No, we could try Mighty the Armadillo.
Okay.
What stage you thinking, Zach? Think of Sonic stages you're interested in. Well, Bridge Zone from Sonic 1 on the Master System.
I'm tempted. I want to see Casino Park in this engine.
Oh, God.
I want to see you suffer.
Kill me. Oh, no, those goddamn dice that move up and down. No! Oh, Casino Park. Really good track. I don't like the stage at all, but it's also a stage in Sonic Heroes, so. Oh, fucking Casino Park.
I'm sorry, I saw this and I'm like, man, in this engine, how does this control? Because I know the pinball mechanics in Sonic Heroes suck.
Does he have light speed dash? He does. Oh.
Okay. Yeah, I was also just about to ask if he has the homing attack, but I think I just saw you do it.
So he has a slide. There we go. All right, more pinball.
Camera.
Yeah, the camera's having a stroke. Oh, the dice are moving up and down. That makes me happy.
Oh, that reminds me. When does Sage usually happen?
Actually, last year Sage had 2 events. It had a autumn one and then also a Christmas one.
Oh, okay.
Usually it's around June and it's around June and August. I mean, they sometimes like to do it around the time of Sonic's birthday, but sometimes they also do go to September. It kind of depends. But it's always near the end of summer and the beginning of fall.
Because at some point I want to participate in Sage. I just never think about it until it's too late.
I'll be honest, Zach, this plays better than Sonic Heroes.
No, yeah, you're actually like jumping on things and not sliding everywhere. I'm sure someone's gonna get mad about that, but eh. We're edgy and cool. We don't care if we've got opinions. I don't know.
There we go. There we go. Come on. Are we stuck? No. Okay, we're
I mean, I do know... I don't know if he still thinks this, but I do know someone who at one point did say Sonic Heroes was his favorite Sonic game, and I just didn't get it.
But it has all the characters.
I mean, it doesn't have Sally.
Well, that's true, Zach. So you would say your favorite Sonic game is Sonic Spinball?
I'd rather play Sonic Spinball than Sonic Heroes.
Zach, you're not going to beat Sonic Spinball.
No, I didn't. I'm not going to beat Sonic Heroes either.
But just in terms of if you were put in a room and had to play them.
Yeah. Sonic Spinball's shorter, at least.
What the fuck? How do
I could deal with a jank pinball game over a jank game that also has even jankier pinball in it.
So after trying a few stages that sucked, we're going to try another stage and see if it works and doesn't involve us being in a fail state. Sky Sanctuary from Sonic Knuckles. That's a fun stage.
feel bad. The past couple of Keeping BZs you've picked have driven you mad.
I do look forward. We are eventually going to try to do Sonic Frontiers, and I am going to mod the hell out of that game with goofy, like, meme mods. So that should be fun. Also, because Sonic Frontiers is a good game.
Yeah, maybe we should just do only Sonic Frontiers. Wait, do you own that on Steam? Oh, wait, no, you own that on PlayStation, don't you?
Well, Alec, the A in Keeping BZ, owns it on Steam, so that way I do have it through family sharing.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, that's true. Yeah, because I have a special project in mind for my Keeping BZ, so maybe while I'm working on that, Brand could just do Sonic Frontiers Keeping BZs until that thing's ready. Although, I guess it shouldn't take so long that we need to do multiple parts, but we'll see. Bring it on.
He sounds so confident in a land of unpolished crap. This was really one of my favorite levels in the original Sonic & Knuckles, just because, I mean, it was very much the thematic end of it, was that it just felt so climactic going up into the sky to finally get to the Death Egg. And it was so much better than Wing Fortress from Sonic 2. Ugh.
Ugh. Fuck Wing Fortress and Sonic 2. Also, fuck Metropolis Zone.
Yeah, and it's 3 acts. Yeah. Like, the people that prefer Sonic 2, it's a shorter game, I guess.
I don't understand you people.
Like, it's a shorter game, and maybe that's why you think that, but I'll take Sandopolis over a lot of the levels in Sonic 2.
I haven't played a whole lot of Sonic & Knuckles, but the couple of levels I played of Sonic & Knuckles were way better than what I felt like I played in Sonic 2.
Oh, nice. Yeah, send me up on one of those portals from that level.
Those were cool cinematic camera angles. That looked nice.
Okay, and then we're going to get the 2 and then the 1 for the extra life.
I do find it weird that this has lives.
It's totally cool, Zach. I found a secret shield.
But it's a regular shield and not a fire shield.
Yep.
So technically it's worse.
Yep. Just don't think about it, Zach. Just hope this level has an end.
No water, no puzzles,
Fuck.
just running.
What? Come on, let me homing attack once I come out of the fall. Come on. Please, no. Don't do this to me again. Let me homing attack. No. No! So I've edited out multiple levels in this video where we had things like this happen, where you're just like, oh, cool, so there's nothing I can do. I'm just screwed. I literally can't get out of this level because it's just screwing me. Because I can't homing attack. Wait, okay, let's try this. Let's spin kick out of this. There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Oh.
Nice. Feeling good.
There it is.
That is so bizarre that it doesn't let you homing attack out of that, though. But he does have a different... He does have a different... what would I call it? Pose in the air, where he looks like he's falling rather than... like the one that lets him homing attack out of it. It's so bizarre.
Which I swear the other portals let you homing attack. So I don't know.
Yeah, you didn't have a problem with any of the other ones. Why that one specifically?
I don't know. We're going to leave it there for Sonic World DX, certainly. Oh, dear God. That was a lot more frustrating than I thought. But it's an interesting game. It still has a very active community that is still making new versions for it. It's still trying to add new levels and new content, new characters. It's still being updated, so maybe they'll get there. But they've also been working on this game for a very long time. But to be fair, so was Sonic Robo Blast 2, a game that was started development in the late 90s. And look at it now. So who knows? Maybe they'll keep working at the Blitz engine, because Sonic Robo Blast 2, that's running off Doom 2. Like a heavily modified Doom 2. So if that game can be that good, I'm sure Sonic World DX will get there one day. You can clearly see the potential when you look at it, but it's just so finicky with the controls, and there's so many just little touches of polish that are of lack of polish that just make it kind of frustrating, as Zach has no doubt seen through multiple of the levels we've done so far. But that's Sonic World DX. Thank you very much for joining us for another installment of Keeping BZ. And we'll join us next. Hopefully, you'll join us next time for whatever we tried to do next. It's Zach's turn, so I'm dreading it, but we'll see what it is.
You got up. You can do it. Huh?
Come on. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God, I'm converting on the spot as I play this.
Don't freak out. Don't panic.
No. No. Oh, it is like Sonic Heroes. Okay. And this is definitely not the real exit. Oh, wait, no, but there's a switch here. Fucking, where are the bucket things coming from? Ah! Fucking jump scaring me!
Admittedly, I wasn't sure about this at first, but this is worth it.
Does this thing die?
I don't even think you can destroy this thing.
Oh, but it doesn't count because I didn't place it.
You've got to be able to go, like, somewhere else.
Okay, I'm cutting this fucking level out. Fuck this. Fuck this.